A very good day to you. Here's a brief summary of the boX series. I thought I would talk to you a bit before you got into the subject matter of the CDs. This is Bert Goldman speaking. I want to tell you what it's all about so you'll know what you're getting into and what you spent your hard-earned money for. I'm going to tell you why whatever you paid for the boX series was a very, very good investment. As far as my background is concerned, you probably know a little about me already, or you wouldn't be listening. After all, what could a total stranger tell you? And why should you even be listening? How do you know who this guy is? Well, you can read something about my background in your workbook or on the menu that came with this CD. Aside from all that, I've been studying and teaching people how to use these methods for more than 30 years. So there must be a whole lot that's right in this box. I actually got involved with this, let's say, alternate material more than 50 years ago. I feel that I know enough now to offer some of that knowledge, as much as I can, to other people, to pass it on. Now we have CDs and the internet. Well, I'm also making this seminar series for my progeny. I like to think that someday one of my descendants will be listening and learning and being helped by what they hear me say. Of course, they'll hear it different than you will. They'll hear it with love and will only be able to hear the positive sides of everything here. I'd like to think that someday, far in the future, that some young man or young woman will be listening and think, that's my great whatever grandfather, that's my ancestor. I think I'll listen to what he has to say to me. I say that because the material will still be valid 100 years from today, and it will all be useful 500 years from today. The 7 principles, as example, that I speak of at all my seminars will be valid 1,000 years from today, because the principles are absolute. They affect everything and everyone. Personally, I live my life by them. Actually, so do you, but you may not be aware of it. Principles like those of correspondence that tells us that all things are related, as above so below, as below so above, so to speak. And how to use the principle for an understanding of confidence and attitude. Vibrations, great principle for the use of healing and successful goal setting. The principle of rhythm can set you free from the ravages of addictions and habits you want to rid yourself of. And the principle of cause and effect, well, that can instill a new sense of ego for you when you use it right. The principle of gender and an understanding of the outgoing and receptive forces. That allows you better control over your life and the lives of those around you. All these things are addressed fully in the CDs that you have in hand. All these principles will be just as valid 1,000 years from today as they were 1,000 years ago. My function at present is to train you in the use of these principles through a variety of techniques. You'll find 42 techniques, boxes and boxes of techniques that you can use every day of your life to solve many of those little problems that cause you discomfort, unease, and stress. Not that you'll use all 42 of them, but they'll be there for you when you need them. And it's taken me a lifetime to compile them. To give you a small idea of the scope of 42 techniques, let me compare that to the granddaddy of self-help seminars, the original Silver Mind Control classes, where there are only 8 techniques. But those techniques, starting in the 60s of the 20th century, helped to change the way people thought. And Jose Silva's method became the most successful program in the history of self-improvement. It's also of note that the Silva seminar has 12 meditations or mental conditioning exercises. We have for you 42 of them. Oh, and by the way, I was Jose Silva's top instructor for many years and helped to add a lot of material to his course. If 8 techniques could change lives, just imagine how far you can get with 42 of them. That's 5 times as much material. Those 42 techniques are interspersed throughout the workbook, and I will be setting the techniques before you and explaining each one during these CDs. You'll find the techniques all listed in the instruction booklet you received with the CDs. The first CD will be dealing with one of the most important issues of our time, stress, the cause of stress and how to eliminate it. You'll also note that the things I'll be talking about can be found in other places. There are hundreds of books, as example, written about relationships, about confidence and courage and finding life's purpose, books about motivation and attracting money and success and dealing with change and secrets of all kinds. But the way you will find these things addressed in the body of these CDs is different. You'll find 2 training lectures on each subject, trainings of approximately 20 minutes each. That's because we've cut out all the fat and offer only the meat of the concept so that you'll be better able to understand and to use the technique that goes along with it. After listening to the CDs a few times and going over the workbook that you have downloaded, you'll even be qualified to teach a number of seminars yourself. For within the pages of the workbook and the CDs are 21 seminars. Each one can easily be expanded, as indeed I have personally taught seminars on all of the subjects in the CDs. The way it's being presented here is this. Each CD is 1 chapter of your workbook, plus 2 meditations, which are not in the workbook, to set the techniques and the material. You'll find the same material in the workbook if you want to refer to it, the training material, that is. Some people find it useful to read along with what they're hearing. I personally prefer sitting comfortably and meditating while listening. You'll find within these CDs 21 separate subjects. Each subject is broken down into 4 parts. 2 separate training lectures coming at the subject from 2 different directions, and 2 mental conditioning exercises which we will be calling meditations. Meditation is simply a concentration of attention so that all the minutiae that normally flit through your mind are blocked by the meditation process. I'm going to be calling our mental conditioning exercises meditations because that's what they are. You might say that the meditations are the jumping off place. They'll be taking you somewhere. Where? Well, where do you want to go? Meditation is the place where your brain wave activity falls into the alpha zone, where the energies are magnified and sent out with great strength to bring about successful programs, aspirations, and goals. Great waves of energy sent out to attract those things that you want and need. Thank you for listening, and now enjoy the tracks that you choose of my Goldman Mind Box series, and may the rest of your life truly be the best of your life. Let's start off by getting to the source of stress. Psychologists have listed hundreds of causes, even listing them in a hierarchy on a variety of scales that you've probably seen at one time or another, usually listing the death of a spouse as the number 1 reason, and hundreds if not thousands of other causes for stress, all listed by number, generally starting at 1, which indicates a mild stress, to 100, which indicates a stress so severe it could be life-threatening. We're going to look at stress differently. Stress, very simply, is caused by a change of the way things are. Any change in the status quo will create a situation that causes stress. But you can't give a number in a hierarchy for an event, as a person's attitude will pretty much determine how they react to the change. People react differently to change, and by so doing, they react differently to stress. If everyone always reacted the same way, then there'd be no point in trying to alleviate stress by changing an attitude. But they don't. And so that allows us to modify and in many cases eliminate stress. Stress causes an uneasy mind. When your mind is restful, stress is not possible. So let's ask a question. How can I have a resting mind? Sometimes a metaphor can show us the way. So let me tell you a story of an actual incident that would normally cause a great degree of stress in most people. It took place 25 years ago during a class I was presenting on stress and how to deal with it. Lunchtime came, and I, along with 3 people in the class, went out together to a nearby restaurant. We were going to take my car. I just bought a new one just a week before. As we approached the vehicle in the parking lot, we all saw it at the same time. A big dent in the right front fender. Someone had slammed into the car while it was parked in the lot and had driven off without even leaving a note on the windshield. The 3 students with me looked at me and waited for the blow-up. One of them was even smiling. I must admit, for a moment I could feel irritation and my body tightening with anger. But I cut it off immediately with a simple technique that I'll teach you in a moment. Jumping into the car, I said to the 3, "Let's go, there's a body and fender shop just down the street." "You're not going to get it fixed right now, are you?" one of the students asked. "Nope," I answered. "What I'm going to do is get a price on what it cost to repair that dent. And whatever that price turns out to be, I'm going to create something that I'm not doing right now, and I'm going to make 3 times whatever that dent is going to cost to repair." Well, we drove to a nearby shop, and I was told that the cost of repairing the fender would be $450. I immediately tripled the figure in my mind and thought, $1,350. 3 times 450. I've got to earn $1,350 with something new. Now, whenever I looked at the dent in the fender, I didn't mentally start cursing the lowlife who dented it and ran off. Not at all. Now, when I looked at the denter, I thought, $1,350. I've got to earn $1,350. Total change of attitude. I kept thinking of how I could make that amount of money. It had to be something that I wasn't doing at that time. I thought about it and thought about it, and finally came up with the answer. I would create a brand new seminar for my friends, and if they liked it, I would send out a mailing to all the people who had been through my classes, and I would set a goal of making $1,350 from it. And so I put the seminar together, and I did it for 15 of my friends. I didn't charge because I was checking out the new material. My friends loved it. I sent out a mailing after renting a meeting hall and did the new seminar. I was surprised I made more in that seminar than the new car cost, never mind the dent. And all because I changed my attitude when I saw a dent in my fender. The technique that I used was the simple redirection of energies, something I think of as the RD, or the redirection. But first, I had to rest my mind. The title of this track is Resting the Mind. Now, what does that mean? Stress requires an active mind. When you are stressed out, many things are flitting through your mind, expectations of things to come. There is always some catalyst to set the mind off. The catalyst is usually of a negative nature, but not always. Winning the lottery or getting a promotion are both positive things, but they can precipitate a good deal of stress. Any change in the normal routine will do that. When you are involved in routine, your mind is resting. You act by rote, just a mechanical repetition. That repetition can be, with regards to an occupation, the routine of housework or a simple taking a walk with your dog every day. Anything that you do over and again, you will find that you usually do that with a mind at rest. When I first saw that dented fender, my mind flew off in all kinds of directions. I was mentally cursing the person who did it while I looked around to see if there were any cars speeding away. There wasn't, and I knew immediately I had to redirect that negative mental energy, and I had to do it right then and there. In came Bhagavad Yoga. I used it and felt immediately at ease. And now comes our technique to bring out the resting of the mind, to forestall and eliminate stress. But first, let me tell you when I learned it. It was actually the first technique I ever learned. It was over 50 years ago. Must have used it 1,000 times since. I've never been disappointed in the effect. Allow me to take you back to 1951. I was at the Self-Realization Fellowship Lake Shrine near Brentwood, California. To me it was, and is still, the most peaceful place on earth. I spent a lot of my time there practicing Kriya Yoga and just meditating near the windmill. But I was disturbed that day. I don't recall why. My friend Chelso picked up on my unease. "How can you meditate when your mind is filled with butterflies?" he asked. I just shrugged. "Use the Bhaga," he said. The Bhaga? What's that? I asked. "Bhaga Yoga. You know, haven't you been taught the Bhaga?" I shook my head. I had no idea what he was referring to. "Let me help you, brother," he said, sitting on the bench next to me. "What makes you comfortable?" he asked. "Well, sitting here by the windmill and meditating. Nothing makes me more comfortable than that." He smiled and nodded. I'm sure that he felt the same. All the disciples were most comfortable at the lake shrine. "Close your eyes and create a picture in your mind of this place," he said. "Sense that you are comfortable and in deep meditation, but do not meditate. Just imagine that you are meditating." I did so. "Now, hold the image of yourself meditating and comfortable, and touch the roof of your mouth with the tip of your tongue." With my eyes closed, my mouth closed, I lifted my tongue and touched it to the roof of my mouth, holding it there for a few seconds. I took a breath, sighed, opened my eyes, and looked at Chelso, who smiled. And he said, "You've just been initiated into Bhaga Yoga." "What is it?" I asked. He was very quiet. He looked at me straight in the eye. "Whenever you feel your mind is too cluttered, or whenever you feel too excited, whenever you don't feel like meditating, and you wish to, just touch the roof of your mouth with your tongue, and like magic, you will be comfortable. You've been initiated." "But Burton," he said, "when I was initiated, I made a promise to initiate only brothers, and I must ask of you that you do the same. There are some things that should not be known to outsiders. This gives us much of the strength of authority and unity that we require. Well, that was all right with me. At that time, I was just about ready to cast off all worldly things and join the ashram as a dedicated disciple. But fate or kismet or whatever force you believe in had other plans for me. I asked, well, fine, I'll keep the Bhagavad as my own personal force. Can I ever teach it to other people? I asked. Shelso smiled, and when he did smile, which was almost constant, a little dimple appeared in his right cheek that seemed to put an exclamation mark on what he was saying. Shelso was a dedicated disciple and had been for years. He was quiet for a moment, and then he said, "In 50 years, you may teach it to anyone." I laughed and agreed. 50 years. It was 1951. I was 24 years old. When you're that young, 50 years seems like eons. 50 years, why, that's more than twice the years I've already lived, I thought. And look at all I've learned. 50 years? He may as well have said 1,000. And then, 50 years later, looking at that dent in my fender, it all came back. It had been 50 years. It all flashed right through my mind. Well, I used the Bhagavad Yoga, and the anger dripped away from me in a moment. I was able to function. I was able to think, how can I change my attitude? And by doing that, I was able to turn a negative event into a successful outcome. I have used the Bhagavad method of instant meditation and to cut stress off before it affects me many, many times over the years. But finally it came to me that I could teach the technique to other people. The seminar I was presenting that day was the first time I spoke of the Bhagavad publicly. I've made it an important part of every class I've taught ever since. Personally, whenever I wish to rest my mind, I simply touch the roof of my mouth with my tongue and close my eyes, and just like that, I'm calm and restful. I use the Bhagavad effect for many issues. If I ever feel the slightest bit of resentment, anger, jealousy, regret, guilt, or any negative feeling, I simply touch the tip of my tongue to my palate, and I am instantly at ease. In the meditation exercise that follows this track, I will be programming the Bhagavad effect for you, so that you will have it always with you. It may well change your life. It will certainly give you complete control over your attitude toward many, many things. Relax. We're going to start this exercise, this meditation, with a 3-to-1 count. This track is not to be played in a moving vehicle. This is a meditation exercise. Find a comfortable position. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And as you exhale, mentally repeat and visualize the number 3 times. Take another deep breath. And as you exhale, mentally repeat and visualize the number 2 3 times. Take another deep breath. And as you exhale, mentally repeat and visualize the number 1 3 times. To help you to enter the meditation state of mind, I'm going to count from 10 to 1. On each descending number, feel yourself going inward, and you will enter a pleasant meditation level of mind where you'll be able to concentrate fully on one subject. 10, 9, feel going deeper. 8, 7, 6, deeper and deeper. 5, 4, 3, deeper and deeper. 2, 1. You are now at a pleasant meditation level of mind where you are able to concentrate fully on one subject. At this time, concentrate on my words. You are now and always in complete control of your state of mind. You can open your eyes. You can be fully alert any time you wish to be. Every time you enter this relaxed meditation state, know that you're getting better and better in every way. Whenever you enter this relaxed meditation state, mentally say, every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. When you say these words, sense yourself improving in all areas of your life. Sense yourself getting better and better. Visualize improvements in your life as you mentally repeat the words. Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. Relax. Relax your eyes. Relax your lips. Relax your jaw. Relax your head, your neck. Relax your body. Relax your arms and hands. Relax your legs and feet. You are now completely relaxed. Repeat mentally, my body rests and refreshes itself when I consciously relax. I'm relaxed now. Repeat mentally after me. Every day my image of myself gets better. I can do anything I have a desire to do. I am a wonderful human being. There's no one else on earth exactly like me. Every day I grow stronger, knowing that I can. I can think. I can create. I can do. I can do anything I have a desire to do. Relax. At this time, concentrate on the image of you meditating. Get a sense of yourself sitting comfortably, eyes closed, as you are now, meditating. With that thought, you are as comfortable as you can possibly be. Hold that image in your mind of you meditating. Still holding that image in your mind, with your mouth closed, take the tip of your tongue and touch it to the roof of your mouth and hold it there while I count to 3. 1, 2, 3. You may now bring your tongue down. You have been initiated and you have learned the technique of Bhaga Yoga, more properly known as the Bhaga. Whenever you feel the need of the comfort you feel when meditating, simply touch the roof of your mouth with your tongue and hold your tongue there for a few seconds, and you'll feel some of the comfort you feel when meditating. Whenever any of the negative emotions are closing in on you, use the Bhaga. It will be a major resource in your life from this moment on. Relax. This is restful meditation. Whenever you feel the need to take your mind off of a subject, whenever you feel any of the negative emotions coming on, and you do not want them, whenever you feel fear and you want to rid yourself of it. Touch the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth, and the negative feelings will melt away. Whenever you wish to meditate, find a comfortable place, position yourself comfortably, close your eyes, and use the bhaga. You will find yourself easing into meditation. If you will meditate 5 minutes a day, you will find life becomes easier, more manageable, and your attitude toward things will improve greatly. Relax. I'm going to use the universal mantra Om 3 times now. Allow each one to relax you, to strengthen your immune system, and to prepare you for the reality of now when you come out of the meditation state. Om. 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 Relax. I will now count from 1 to 3. At the count of 3, you will open your eyes. You will be wide awake, alert, refreshed, and re-energized. 1, 2, 3. Eyes open, wide awake, alert, refreshed, and re-energized. Stress is also caused by the fear that you'll experience harm or loss. This fear is generally based on a real or an imagined threat, a threat to the routine of your life. In the most general sense, stress is created and controlled by opinion. Your opinion of things, that's called attitude. Your opinion of self, your opinion of yourself, that's called ego. When dealing with stress and attempting to gain a life that is free of stress, you have to address the difference between attitude and ego. Is the stress caused by something outside yourself, say a war, the economy, a natural disaster, or a person, an event, or a series of events, a perceived loss of some kind? Those are things that would be caused by attitude, stress caused by attitude. Or is the stress that you're undergoing caused by a feeling of not being as worthy as you like, or a feeling of guilt, or self-limitations? If you were to take all your friends and put them in a hierarchy, a ladder of success, who would be on the top of that ladder, and who would be at the bottom? And where on that scale would you be? Write that hierarchy on a sheet of paper. Take 3 or 4 or 10 or 20, however many friends you have, and write their names on a sheet of paper. You might even want to include relatives and family members. This is your success scale, the way that you perceive success. When you finish that scale, do another with the same people, but this time do it how you perceive happiness. Put the happiest one on the top of the ladder and the unhappiest at the bottom. Where are you on that scale? What is your attitude toward yourself with regards to the 2 scales of hierarchy? How do you feel about being where you are? Which is more important to you, the success hierarchy or the happiness? Is age a factor? The scales will be far different for people in their 20s as opposed to those in their 60s. That's a factor that few books on the subject bring out. Stress is different for someone in their 20s as it is for a 60-year-old, especially so when you consider the generality that there is stress deriving from attitude and there is stress deriving from ego. Attitudes and egos change with aging, but they can be treated the same. Attitude stress is due entirely to the expectation of a negative outcome with regards to a person, event, or loss. Ego stress is due entirely to the expectation of a negative outcome with regards to what you think of yourself in some area of your life. Disappointment and frustration fall into this category. Once you understand the difference between the two, which comprise virtually every type of stress, you'll also realize how easy it can be to control. But first, here's a great truth for you, an axiom. Stress and relaxation are the same thing. Now, you're going to take exception to that, as well you should, until I explain what I mean by that statement. I'm going to show you how, by using one of the great 7 principles of Hermes, polarity, you can learn more about the 7 principles on CD number 17 when you get to it. Polarity. Polarity states that all things have an opposite and that opposites are the same, only differing by degree. Allow me to follow that thought through to see if it leads us to a solution to the secret of stress. First of all, how would you find the opposite of stress? That's the right question. Now, you find the opposite by either reducing or enhancing. Well, it's obvious we don't want to enhance stress. We just create more stress. So let's reduce it. Take stress and put it on an arbitrary scale, and say the stress on our arbitrary scale is at the 100-degree mark. Now make it less. Now it's 90. Less again. Down it goes to 80. As you lessen the stress, you of course become a little more relaxed. Make the stress still less and you'll be fully relaxed. The less stress, the more relaxation. Stress can easily be unlocked as long as you use relaxation as your key. The secret of stress is to use relaxation as a weapon to defeat it. How do you get dark out of a room? You can't sweep it out. You can't wash it out. You can't talk it out. The only way to get dark out of a room is to let light in. You get stress out of your mind by letting relaxation in. The greatest form of relaxation is meditation. On that, virtually all authorities agree. Stress is insidious. It comes at you from everywhere. Some would say this emotion goes back as far as the cave dwellers. Well, we don't have our metabolism speeded up by a shot of adrenaline so that we can leap up a tree and away from danger. But the chemical is still produced by our bodies when perceiving a threat. Luckily, though, the solution is easy to utilize, and once you know the technique, it will be with you, like all of our techniques, forever. Everyone knows the word meditation, and most people have a picture in their minds of a person sitting quietly, hands in lap, with eyes closed, at peace with the world. Well, that's a description of meditation, but there are other ways to reach that state. If you have a desire to reach meditation, to modify and rid yourself of stress, especially so if the stress is getting in the way of your productiveness and making you less effective at what you do. The way to look at meditation is as a concentration of attention. Anytime your mind is at rest and focused on a single objective, excluding all the trivia, the minutiae, that normally besets your mind, you're in a kind of a trance-like state. On the first track of this CD, you learned about the boX. Once you begin to use the technique of instant meditation, you will find that stress will bother you less and less. Do remember, however, that one of the facets of meditation is intense concentration on one subject. Later on in this series, you will learn to use the boX to propel you to the spiritual dimension. After many, many years of meditation, I personally use a very simple method to get to the meditative state. But preparation is essential. And yes, you can use the boX while walking along an avenue and it'll work. and you can use it for a great many things, but the formal type of meditation that most people are familiar with is different. This is the way that I do it. In my home, I have a corner that I use strictly for meditation. If you can arrange such a thing in your home or office, it'll make the process much easier, as a calming energy builds up when you practice in one area. Places absorb energy. Places where people gather to worship have a peaceful energy that can be felt. Places where people are restrained, such as hospitals and prisons, have a strong negative energy that can be felt. That's why, if possible, I advise you to set aside an area for meditation. So now that you've decided you wish to formally meditate, you want to be more productive and more effective in what you do every day. Before you meditate, you must understand that you'll be leaving behind all the trivial details of the day, all the mental images that bother you. When you sit down and make yourself comfortable, you then direct your thoughts to one objective. This is the first concentration of thoughts. Many people will use a mantra to concentrate their attention. Indeed, when a person counts down, sees colors, or uses music, they're fixing their attention on whatever method they are using. What we will use as a focus of attention is the mantra Om. It is said in a drawn-out manner and mentally. I'll do it physically. Om. 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 You use the mantra Om by saying it mentally with each outgoing breath. On each exhale, concentrate on the word, only the word, and do it slowly. Now here's the secret to deepening your meditation. With eyes closed, you take a breath, and as you exhale, you mentally say the first Om. While mentally saying the Om, you project it to your right at about ear level. Then take another breath, and as you exhale, you mentally project the Om to your left at about ear level. Each time you take a breath and exhale, you mentally repeat the word Om and go from right to left again and again, left to right, right to left. You'll find this takes you to the very pleasant state of meditation very quickly. Once you're there, you needn't go from right to left and left to right. You can simply use the Om sound very, very lightly, and each time you do, it will take you closer to the spiritual. More on that later. During the second track of this CD, during the meditation track, you had the Bhaga set in your inner conscious while you were meditating. To use the Bhaga in any of a variety of ways outside of meditation, experiment with this. Say that you want something of an immediate nature, a good seat at a restaurant, a parking place, in a difficult situation. Or let's say you're late for a meeting, you want to get there on time, or for any of the ordinary things that normally come up in your mind. Use the Bhaga in this manner. Now this is called the Bhaga Duo, sometimes known as the BD technique. You touch the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth. You think of the thing that you want to happen as already having happened, and sense it first at your right ear and then at your left. Do this a series of times, but not less than 3 times. Right, left, right, left, right, left. You'll find your attitude toward things changing as you get more and more successful in the use of the BD technique. You wish to be more productive. Well, think about how you can be more effective and more productive. Think about the end result of you being more productive. Then use the Bhaga Duo. Touch the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth and think about the job you wish to be more productive with as successfully completed. Bring that image to your right and then to your left, as you just learned, back and forth. That's the quick and easy way to have a resource at your call anytime you wish to adjust your attitude and gain control over quick and easy meditation, the Bhaga and the Bhaga Duo. On the next track following this, you'll find the Daisy Pond, the meditation exercise. You might well call it a guided fantasy. I created the Daisy Pond many years ago for people in distress, and also for children whose natural ability to fantasize would stand them in good stead. The Daisy Pond, with my permission, has been translated into many languages, and I've received much feedback over the years from parents who've used it to soothe their children, and also from people in hospital settings who use it to relieve themselves of stress. It's the only meditation I encourage people to copy and give to their family and friends in need. Just be as a child when you listen to it, and allow your great imagination to take you for a relaxing, comforting trip, far, far from any cares or stress you might have. Now, the Daisy Pond, as you will hear it, is the original Daisy Pond that I made personally more than 30 years ago. Voice is a little different. After all, I was 30 years younger at the time. But it is the most popular exercise that we've ever had in any of the seminars that I've done, and so we're still using the original Daisy Pond.
While seated or lying down in the comfort of your home only. It's not to be played in a moving vehicle. Relax. We will start this exercise with the 3-to-1 method. Find a comfortable position, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and while exhaling, mentally repeat and visualize the number 3 times. Take another deep breath, and while exhaling, mentally repeat and visualize the number 2 3 times. Take another deep breath, and while exhaling, mentally repeat and visualize the number 1 3 times. You are now at a deeper, healthier level of mind. To reach a deeper, healthier level of mind at any time, just take an occasional deep breath. To help you enter a deeper, healthier level of mind, imagine that you're sitting in front of a black velvet curtain. You are very comfortable. Alongside your chair is a box with 10 white plastic numbers in it. The numbers are from 1 to 10. When you place one of these numbers on the black velvet curtain, the number sticks until you remove it. You're going to take these numbers one by one and put them on the velvet curtain. First you'll put the number 1 on the curtain, then you'll remove it and replace it with the number 2, and so on until you've put up and taken down the entire 10 numbers. First the number 1. Take your time. You'll have plenty of time. Relax. Begin. Relax. If you've not yet reached the number 10, take away whatever number you have on the curtain and replace it with the number 10. Relax. You are now at a deeper, healthier level of mind. You are now and always in complete control of your state of mind. You can open your eyes, you can be fully alert anytime you wish to be. Every time you enter this relaxed state, you know that you're getting better and better in every way. Whenever you enter this relaxed state, mentally say, every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. And when you say these words, sense yourself improving in all areas of your life. Sense yourself getting better and better. Visualize improvements in your life as you mentally repeat the words now. Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. Visualize improvements in some aspect of your life. Relax. Relax your eyes. Relax your lips, your jaw. Relax your head. Relax your neck. Relax your body, your arms and hands. Relax your legs and your feet. You are now completely relaxed. Repeat mentally, my body rests and refreshes itself when I consciously relax. I'm relaxed now. Repeat mentally, every day I am improving my image of myself, my self-esteem. I am a unique human being. There is no one else on earth exactly like me. Every day I grow stronger in the realization that I can think, I can create, I can do. Relax. Imagine that you're standing at the top of a stairway. There are 15 steps leading to a small hallway. At the end of the hallway is a large door. The door is closed. On the other side of that door is the daisy pond, your own personal relaxing place of contentment and satisfaction. The daisy pond has mystical restorative waters. Lush vegetation is all around the pond, as well as friendly animals, colorful birds, and beautiful friendly fish. The sky is always blue here, and there are many white fluffy clouds lazily drifting overhead. In the center of the warm, the blue-green water, you'll see a large daisy. The daisy is large enough to lie on. When you project yourself into its center, you'll imagine that you're lying in the center of a huge, soft daisy. The daisy pond is your creation and will be whatever you wish it to be. It can be your place of greatest relaxation. Relax. Now you're going to walk down the stairs a step at a time, and slowly. You're on the top step. Step down to the 14th step. Now the 13th. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and now the bottom step. Walk to the end of the hall facing the large door. The door is quite large, made of carved wood. It has a brass doorknob. The door opens outward. Reach out and touch the doorknob, and the door will slowly open. The door is opening. The door is open. There in front of you is the pond, the daisy pond. Relax. Sense the blue-green waters. Sense the vegetation, the flowers, the trees, the friendly animals. Here and there, you can imagine a lily pad floating on the surface. Around the daisy pond is lush vegetation and beautiful flowers. Focus your attention on the center of the pond. There in the center is the daisy. A magnificent, huge daisy growing 10 feet high, 12 feet high. Whatever height you create will be the height of the daisy. I'm going to count from 1 to 3, and at the count of 3, you'll project yourself into the center of the comfortable, soft, fluffy daisy. 1, 2, 3. It's very comfortable. You are comfortable. Sense the blue sky, the occasional white cloud. Sit up and look around you. Sense the lush green vegetation. You may see a friendly animal, or 2 or more. Look at the pond, at the clear water. Ease yourself to the edge of the daisy. You're on one of the petals now. At the count of 3, ease yourself off the petal and slide into the water. Warm, buoyant, magical waters of the daisy pond. 1, 2, 3. Off the daisy and float downwards into the mystical restorative waters of the daisy pond. You can swim in this water. It's your own private fountain of youth. Float and swim for a while. If you like, you may swallow some of the water. It has healthful qualities. It has cleansing qualities. Relax. The magical water of the daisy pond can be mentally breathed. When you mentally take a breath of the waters, imagine it cleansing your circulatory system. Imagine it cleansing and purifying your entire system. Now dive under the surface of the pond and swim underwater. Swim to the bottom. If you like, you may play with any fish you may see. All the fish are friendly. They're your imaginary fish, as beautiful as you wish them to be. Take a deep breath. Feel the water of the pond flow through your body. Feel the strength and energy enter your organs, the very cells of your body. You feel better and better. You feel marvelous as the water enters your system to cleanse and relax. You're totally relaxed. Relax. Enjoy. Now swim back to the surface. Easily, gently, relax. You're now back at the surface. Float and swim for a while. Relax. I'm going to count from 1 to 3. At that moment, you'll project yourself back onto the daisy. 1, 2, 3. You're now in the center of the comfortable daisy. Look in the distance. In the distance, you can see 3 mountain peaks. One of them is covered with snow. The highest one is the snow-covered peak. I'm going to count from 1 to 3, and at the count to 3, you'll float up from the daisy, and just like Peter Pan, you too will fly. You will fly up, circle the daisy pond, and then fly towards the snow-covered mountain peak. Here in the land of the daisy pond, you have the ability to fly if you like. When you reach the snow-covered mountain, you may fly right up to the snow. Then you may play for a while. 1, 2, 3. Gently float up, up, and up. Now circle and see the daisy pond from a different perspective. You're now looking down on the daisy pond. Now circle once more and fly towards the snow-covered peaks. As you fly, look down at the area below you. You will see many exciting things, jungle and plains and different species of animals, all friendly. Everything in the land of the daisy pond is interesting and friendly. You're now approaching the mountain peak, closer and closer. You're now at the peaks. Fly over them. You may play in the snow if you so desire. Just fly closer and closer until you're in the snow. Play for a while. Now out of the snow, circle the mountain peaks, and then fly back towards the daisy pond, easily flying. It is very pleasant flying in this manner. You're totally in control of yourself as you relax. You're now approaching the daisy pond, closer, closer. Now you're directly over the daisy. Gently lower yourself onto the daisy until you're sitting on the surface. You're now on the daisy. Relax. I'm going to count from 1 to 3, and at that moment you'll project yourself to the vestibule or the hallway at the bottom of the 15 steps. Relax. At the count of 3, you'll project yourself back into the hallway at the bottom of the 15 steps. 1, 2, 3. You're now in the hallway. The door to the daisy pond is very slowly closing. The door is closed. Relax. Now walk slowly up the stairs. You're at the bottom step. Now the second, the third, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and now you're at the top of the stairway, the 15th step. Relax. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 3. At that moment, you will open your eyes. You'll be wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before. 1, 2, coming out slowly. At the count of 3, you will open your eyes. You'll be wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before. 3, eyes open, wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before. Thank you.